Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 20 of the MyNBA World Series. In this video we will be kicking off the 2025 to 2026 regular season. But before we get into action, we'll be taking a look at the power rankings. And with all the offseason moves we looked at last video, the power rankings are a lot different from last year. The reigning conference champions are both ranked in the top 10 on the 2K power rankings, while the Eastern Conference champ Hornets are ranked 24th on the NBA.com power rankings, while the most famous and biggest franchises are number 1 and 2 ranked on the NBA.com power rankings. The Lakers had LeBron retire recently, but signed many pieces in the offseason to surround AD and are ranked number 2. Well, the first round out last year, Boston Celtics are number 1 while retaining the young core of Brown and Tatum. With all that out the way, it's now time for the season opener. The Golden State Warriors are matching up against the Phoenix Suns. Two big stars debuting on their new team. Trae Young, who joined up with Devin Booker after a trade in the offseason. Pascal Siakam, who joined the aging Golden State Warriors core via trade from the Raptors in the offseason as well. OG Anunoby was also another player who was involved in that Siakam trade, who is now on the Warriors. And the Warriors are just trying to put together their last championship-ready team, while the Suns have a nice young core with the duo of Trae Young and Devin Booker. With recently drafted JJ Shuttlesworth, the Phoenix Suns have a nice core, but they are very top-heavy at guards. Having two great scoring point guards off the bench and two great starters, they don't have much else. Some reports have stated that they should try trading Terry Rozier for a better, maybe power forward / center player to even out the team. But Terry Rozier has been a consistent 14 to 18 point per game scorer ever since joining the Suns, while JJ Shuttlesworth is making his NBA debut tonight. Many fans believe that this is the last year of Draymond, Klay Thompson, and Curry, causing the front office to try to make the one last move to win another championship. And the Warriors have been struggling mightily all series, being the 14th seed in the West last season with a 31-51 record. And Pascal Siakam's debut was decent tonight, putting up 18 points and 9 boards, while helping the Warriors win the game. The rookie Shuttlesworth was solid and showed nice flashes on offense, but has gotten inconsistent minutes in the first 10 or so games, so there's not much to go off of what we'll see from JJ throughout the entire year. And with the Warriors taking advantage of the Suns' lack of chemistry with all the new moves, they win it 116 to 110. On to the next matchup, we have another Western Conference showdown between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Both teams with title aspirations, the Nuggets who are only getting better and better, while the Lakers are trying to rebound after the LeBron retirement. And I have to say they are doing a pretty good job at it. They signed the young 3-and-D perimeter defender Paul Thompson, and they also signed Jonathan Kuminga from the Warriors and Rudy Gobert from the Timberwolves. They are surrounding the 32-year-old Anthony Davis with talent on the perimeter and inside. And on the Denver side, the 30-year-old Nikola Jokic is debatably the best big man in the entire league besides Giannis. Starting the season off with a 28-point, 16-rebound performance versus LA in this game. And Cam Johnson, the sophomore, a all-around solid forward, tried his best to guard AD while also getting his own offensively. Cam finished with a near triple-double tonight, yet still got outplayed by Anthony Davis, who put up 32 and 13. And Anthony Davis has been leading the league in scoring so far with around 32.5 points a game. The Nuggets are very young and still improving, but still a very tough team to beat. That's why it's a very impressive win for this Los Angeles Lakers team. Even with the new look, they start the season off hot, barely squeaking by after a last-second miss by the sophomore Tristan Kelly in the clutch. Next on to Eastern Conference teams, another debut tonight. We have Miles Bridges, who signed to the Toronto Raptors in the offseason. He signed there after the Lakers didn't re-sign him after a disappointing 2025 campaign. The Raptors, after losing Siakam, has gone fully young with their rebuilding roster. With an average age of 24, the Raptors don't have much leadership. Miles Bridges is the oldest player on the team while only being 27 years old. But for the Celtics, they had a disappointing end to last season as the 4 seed, and they lost in 7 to the Cavaliers after Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both battled through injuries. This year they look to bounce back, hopefully with no visit from the injury bug. And for the Raptors, Miles Bridges played solid in his opener, scoring a team-high 24 points on 17 shots. And the great scorer sophomore Demetrius Augustine put up 17 points and 6 rebounds. But even with that being said, in a game like this, there is a clear favorite to win, and it was clearly the Boston Celtics. And the Celtics did not happen to fall into the trap game, winning easily versus the young gun Toronto Raptors squad, winning by 20, 139-119 in the Celtics' second game of the year, improving to 2-0 while the Raptors go down 0-2. The reigning champions Utah Jazz take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Jazz were heavy favorites going into the game, and the Thunder knew this. Yet the Oklahoma City Thunder never really put up a fight. Jameer Ware, the third-year player, had himself a night, scoring 39 points, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 blocks while hitting 6 threes. The Jazz rookie Trey Johnson also had himself a solid night, scoring 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting from the field and only 15 minutes of action. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey combined for 45 points and 18 assists for the Thunder, but never really seemed to matter, while the Thunder sophomore William Wilson struggled mightily, shooting 5 of 14 from the field, which seemed to be due to an injury, because after the game it came out that Wilson had pulled a calf muscle and will be out 5 to 12 days with the injury. The Jazz breezed by to a 129-108 win, and after the game the Jazz make a big move. The Jazz were quiet all offseason, but after a slow start to the season with a 5-6 record, the Jazz make a move for former All-Star DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan may start or come off the bench as a sixth man, but since the Jazz only traded picks, the former champions only add more depth to this already deep team. Now the Knicks match up versus the Pacers in Indiana. The sophomore Christian Green Jr., who started amazingly last year in his rookie campaign, has started this year off very slowly, averaging 18.8 points a game on only 41% shooting from the field. Both numbers down from his great rookie season, yet it may be too early to judge, only 15 games through the season. But in this matchup, the Pacers, led by Tyrese Halliburton and Kristaps Porzingis, blow right by the New York Knicks in a 143-94 win. Many fans didn't think Jake Bean was going to get much playing time until the midway point of the season, but in only the 13th game of the Pacers season, Bean plays over 20 minutes and impresses the Indiana fans and coaches with a nice performance off the bench. To be fair, the game was out of reach when he was in, but it is still a good look for the rookie Jake Bean. And for Tyrese Halliburton, who's been leading the way for the near 500 Pacers team, he has been putting up fantastic numbers, all stats improving from the previous year, and for the first time in Tyrese's young career, he is in MVP conversations. We now have two young rebuilding teams, two teams that drafted rookie centers, the Magic's 24th overall pick Martin Novak. In the limited time he has been playing, he has been surprisingly efficient. Novak has been compared to a floor of Andre Bargnani with a ceiling of Dirk, yet many doubt he can really reach that Hall of Fame status. The Hawks rookie center Andrew Gretsch has been a great defensive presence in the paint, bailing out perimeter guards like Kevin Porter Jr. when they get blown by. And the Magic's 5th overall pick from Connecticut, Stephon Castleberry, has been great in rookie standards to start the year, leading the Magic to a 136-117 win versus Atlanta. Castleberry has been averaging 16, 4, and 4 on decent efficiencies, and even though the Magic are mediocre at best right now, they have potential to become a playoff team when the regular season ends. Next up, we have a heavyweight matchup, the debut of Kawhi Leonard on the Sixers versus the reigning Eastern Conference champions, Charlotte Hornets. The big man matchup is going to be very important in this match. The sophomore 7'4" center Will O'Neal versus the superstar center Joel Embiid. The Hornets' new pickups Andrew Wiggins and Aaron Gordon played solid but not great in this game, and this game was way more of a defensive battle, both teams struggling to score consistently, but at half the Hornets ended up leading 54-40 with Embiid struggling and Kawhi having to take control on his new team. Kawhi finished with 24 points and 8 boards with 5 assists, while Embiid scored only 16 points on 7 of 18 field goal shooting. Both teams' best players struggled, with LaMelo shooting only 10 of 28 from the field and 3 of 15 from 3. Still putting up a good stat line with 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists, but he didn't play that well in the actual game. But Will O'Neal had debatably his best career game with 18 points and 17 rebounds with 2 blocks versus arguably a top 3 big man in the entire NBA. But Kadon also struggled throughout the game, scoring just 27 points on 25 shots. With the both offensive weapons for the Hornets struggling, they ended up choking the halftime lead and losing the fourth quarter 41-28. Yet to end the game, they still had a good chance to win, but after a Kadon Ryan miss, the Clippers win an impressive game on the road early for this new look Sixers team to win an impressive matchup against a great team. On to another stacked matchup, the new look Grizzlies rocking the nighttime jerseys going up against Luka and the Mavericks. Kyrie Irving has landed with the Grizzlies after forcing a trade out of Brooklyn, creating a deadly duo with the former 2024 MVP Ja Morant. Many reporters have stated the Mavericks look to trade for another star to pair with Luka, but for right now, it looks like it might have backfired for not making any moves in the offseason, because the Mavericks have been disappointing to start the year, only having a 7-8 record after 15 games. While the same cannot be said for this new look Grizzlies team. The pairing of Kyrie Irving and Ja Morant has been a problem for every opposing team, leading Memphis to a 12-3 record, best in the Western Conference. In the matchup, the two-headed monster of Kyrie Irving and the athleticism of Ja Morant was just too much for Luka and the squad to overcome, leading to another Grizzlies win early into the year.
Point guard, number 4, Izzy Ball.
The primetime matchup of Izzy Ball versus his former team has finally came. ESPN Saturday primetime. And the first overall pick goes up against one of the best teams in the entire league. A difficult matchup for the first overall pick, OJ Tremblay, having to go against 6'5" DeJounte Murray and 6'8" Izzy Ball, while Tremblay is only 5'10". New Orleans started the game off hot, dominating the Rockets on every possession to start the game. The Rockets seemed to be no match for the newly built Pelicans squad, while Izzy Ball scored 14 points in just the first quarter alone versus his former team, while hitting a deep 3 from almost logo range over Malachi Branham, leading to an early 17-point lead after just 12 minutes. And after more highlight plays for the Pelicans, including a Zion self-lob, the Rockets slowly fight back into the game, with the turning point being a Tremblay feed into Jalen Green for a tough mid-range shot, closing the gap to just 1 point. Then after a tough 3 from Tremblay on the move, the Rockets take a 2-point lead over New Orleans. Then with the 10-inch height advantage, Izzy finally takes advantage and drills a fadeaway jumper over Tremblay in the clutch to tie the game up at 128 with little over a minute left. Then after Jalen Green takes Ingram off the dribble and slams a dunk down, the Rockets regain the 1-point lead and the Pelicans have to call a timeout, and the Rockets look to complete the upset. After the timeout, the Pelicans draw up the play for Izzy, and he gets open to drill a moving 3 on top of the key with just 3 seconds left, and the Pelicans only need one more stop to win the game. The Rockets look for a 3, and they do find Tremblay in the corner for 3, and he misses it. And the Pelicans escape with the win after nearly choking away the early lead. And Izzy Ball will go on to defeat his former team, possibly proving why he ended up leaving and signing on this New Orleans Pelicans squad. And the Pelicans are looking nice, starting 8-4 to start the year, while the Rockets are just 6-8. But after the game, the Pelicans get hit with some bad news. Zion ends up suffering a back injury, but he only expects to miss around 10 days, so that's not that bad. And we have some awards. Player of the Month will go to Jason Tatum for his stellar play, averaging over 32 points a game while leading the second seed Boston Celtics. Tatum also scored 52 points versus Atlanta to solidify this award. The Celtics are 7-0 at home to start the year, an amazing record, and the Celtics are going for that revenge tour after a sad defeat in the first round last season versus the Cavaliers. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and Discord is in the link in the description, and I would love if you subscribed and liked if you enjoyed this content. And I will see you next time. Peace.